Alright guys, so roughly about 1 year ago, I made an alternative story about Gohan and the Tournament of Power. And you guys loved part 1 and part 2, it received nothing but love and support. So thank you guys all so much for that, I really appreciate it. And then guys, I had to make part 3. And part 3 received unimaginable love and support. I honestly did not expect so much positive feedback on the part 3 of that story, but you guys just blew it out of the water. So thank you guys all so much for that. From the bottom of my heart guys, thank you all so very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you all so much. And guys, with that, part 4 was being requested heavily, and today's the day for the part 4 of the Gohan story. And so before I begin part 4, I'll play part 1, part 2 and then part 3 for those that haven't seen those parts yet. And then guys, part 4 will begin immediately. And so now with that out of the way, this is the part 4 of the Gohan story. So as the Tournament of Power was happening, myself and many other fans, we expected to see a little bit more from Gohan, but guys, we did not get what we wanted. Gohan was heavily underused in the Tournament of Power. Like, they could have done so much more with Gohan, but they did not do that. And with that, some fans were a little disappointed. In the Tournament of Power, we seen Gohan versus Toppo for just a little bit, and that was pretty much it. Myself, I really wanted to see Gohan versus Toppo for a little bit longer, but guys, we did not get that. But in this story, everything changes. This fight between Gohan versus Toppo becomes something else. And we start the story off with when Gohan was taking on Toppo. As Gohan was seeing Goku and Vegeta take on Jiren, Gohan had an idea, and that was to buy time for Goku and Vegeta to heal up, to rest up, and that was by taking on Jiren. See, Gohan knew that he was nothing up against Jiren, but Gohan knew that even if he could give Goku and Vegeta even 1 minute to rest up, they'll bring their stamina back, the energy will be preserved for the final battle. But as Gohan was heading towards Jiren, suddenly Toppo came in front of him. And guys, with this right now we have Gohan versus Toppo. And the first thing that Toppo says to Gohan is, "Where do you think you're going? If I let you take on Jiren, that's an insult to myself and the entire Pride Troopers. You are nothing compared to Jiren." And as Gohan is taking on Toppo, Toppo is attacking Gohan from all over the place. Gohan has only landed 2 punches out of the hundreds that were thrown. And guys, these 2 punches were nothing for Toppo. It did not affect Toppo in any kind of way at all. And suddenly with anger, Beerus says it's over for Gohan. And guys, at that very moment, Toppo launches his final blast on Gohan. And with that, Gohan right now is on the ground, and he's very lifeless. After that, Toppo walks up to Gohan, and then he picks Gohan up by the head. And then Toppo says, "Worthless." And guys, after that, Toppo punches Gohan right in the chest. And with this, once again, Gohan is on the ground. And as Gohan is laying on the ground, he sees Universe 7. He sees Earth. He sees Videl and Pan. And with this, Gohan slowly starts getting up. And guys, right now Toppo is shocked. He has no idea how this is possible. And not just Toppo, everyone that is watching, they're in shock. But suddenly, Whis notices something, but he has no idea what this actually is. So he keeps on watching without saying anything to anyone. And once again with this, the battle between Toppo and Gohan starts. But this time the opposite is happening. The tables have finally turned. And guys, with this, Gohan is finally able to land more hits on Toppo. And these hits that Gohan is landing on Toppo, these are not just normal hits. These are very powerful hits that Gohan is landing. And not just power, this also had precision as well. And right now Toppo cannot do a single thing up against Gohan. He's truly outmatched against Gohan. And guys, suddenly Gohan launches his Kamehameha at Toppo. And Gohan's Kamehameha is so powerful that it rips apart Toppo's armor. Right now Toppo is on his knees and he is heavily damaged. But then slowly Toppo starts getting up. And then Toppo says, "Justice. Justice is worthless now. I have made up my mind." And guys, with this, Toppo unleashes his God of Destruction power. And suddenly, he comes and punches Gohan right in the face. And guys, everyone is shocked by the power that Toppo is outputting. And then Beerus says, "Oh no." But then guys, suddenly we see fear and shock on God of Destruction Toppo's face. And Toppo sees that Gohan is slowly turning around. And the punch that God of Destruction Toppo landed on Gohan, it had no effect on Gohan. And slowly in fear, Toppo starts walking back. He has no idea how this is possible. But then suddenly Toppo launches the energy of destruction right at Gohan. And guys, as the energy ball is about to hit Gohan, it suddenly stops in mid-air, only inches away from Gohan, and Toppo has nothing but shock on his face. And what Toppo does next is it starts pushing the energy of destruction with everything he has got, but it doesn't even move 1 inch towards Gohan, and out of nowhere, Gohan starts walking right through the energy of destruction. And with this, right now everyone is in genuine shock. All the God of Destruction have no idea how this is even possible. And then Belmont of Universe 11, God of Destruction, he says, now him too? And what Belmont means is, now that Goku has Ultra Instinct, is it possible that Gohan right now has that as well? But then guys, Whis, Vados, and Margarita, they all say that this is not Ultra Instinct. This is something else that they cannot figure out. They have no idea what this is. And when they finish talking, Gohan starts powering up. And guys, we see all kinds of aura coming out of Gohan. We see Super Saiyan. We see the Mystic form. We see Super Saiyan Blue. We see Super Saiyan God. And we also see Ultra Instinct aura as well. And no one has any idea what is exactly happening. Whatever Gohan has awakened, it is not Ultra Instinct. It is something else. And all this time, without even saying a single word, Piccolo has just been observing. And finally, he has figured out what is happening to Gohan. Alright guys, so now part 2 begins. The reason why Piccolo was the only one that knew what was going on, that is because Piccolo has seen this before when he was training with Gohan. Before the Tournament of Power began, Gohan and Piccolo went into the hyperbolic time chamber. And guys, in there, Piccolo pushed Gohan to his absolute limits. And not only Piccolo pressured Gohan, but he also broke Gohan down like nothing before. And one day as they were training in the hyperbolic time chamber, Gohan was pushed even beyond his own breaking point. And guys, at that very moment, as Gohan was on the ground and Piccolo was about to land the final blow on Gohan to knock him out, suddenly Piccolo noticed that there was a strange heat that was coming out of Gohan, and Gohan's energy was getting higher and higher, and Gohan was going through some strange transformation that Piccolo has never seen before. And as Gohan got up from the ground, Piccolo punched Gohan directly in the face. But guys, that punch had no effect on Gohan, and Gohan with his eyes closed, he punched Piccolo right in the stomach. And as Piccolo looked down on Gohan's hands were not on Piccolo, it was behind Piccolo, because that punch went right through Piccolo's stomach. And guys, Piccolo was in immense amounts of shock, but suddenly Gohan lost consciousness, and he just fainted and he fell on the ground once again. And at this time, Piccolo was heavily damaged and he was bleeding a lot. His life was slowly fading away. But luckily, Piccolo has some senzu beans with him, and that is how Piccolo was able to survive the immense amounts of damage they took from Gohan. And when Piccolo was okay, he realized something, and that something was, whatever this power is, this power took control of Gohan. And Piccolo realized that Gohan lost complete controls of himself. And not only that, Gohan was immensely ruthless. It was like Gohan was attacking Piccolo with the intent to end his life. And guys, right now in the Tournament of Power, everyone is in genuine shock. All the gods and everyone, they have no idea what is happening. And Toppo, who's fighting up against Gohan, he's also shocked as well. And he's really angry that he cannot do a single thing up against Gohan. And with anger and frustration, Toppo attacks Gohan head on. Right as Toppo's punch is about to hit Gohan directly, Gohan just disappears from the front of Toppo. And guys, he appears right behind Toppo. And Toppo has nothing but shock on his face. And what Gohan does next is he just elbows Toppo directly in the back of his head. And you guys, with this, Toppo is completely knocked out. And after that, Gohan just kicks the lifeless body of Toppo out of the Tournament of Power ring. And with this, Toppo is eliminated. And you guys, after that, Dispo comes up to Gohan and he says, "That was just luck. You think you're fast?" And guys, after that, Dispo runs directly towards Gohan. But then Dispo suddenly switches direction and he heads the other way. And guys, after that, he comes and attacks Gohan all over the place. And Gohan cannot keep up. That's what it seems like. But then as Dispo is running really fast at max speed, he looks back and he sees that Gohan is still behind him and he's just standing there. But as Dispo turns his head and he looks forward, hundreds of feet away right in front of Dispo, Gohan is just standing right there. And guys, with this, Dispo loses his mind completely, as he has no idea how Gohan just did that. He has no idea how Gohan was able to move this fast, this quick. Gohan right now is hundreds of feet away from Dispo. But guys, suddenly Gohan just disappears. But then suddenly Gohan just appears right in front of Dispo. Gohan is directly in the face of Dispo. And Dispo has nothing but fear on his face. And guys, Dispo tries to get away from Gohan. But Gohan immediately grabs onto Dispo. And Gohan just starts torturing Dispo like nothing that we have seen before. And then Gohan grabs onto Dispo's right hand and he just breaks it. And from far away, Piccolo says, "No, Gohan, stop this." And also Goku says, "Son, what are you doing? Stop this. You already have him beat, just kick him out." But Gohan is not listening to Piccolo or even Goku. And Gohan is still torturing Dispo and is giving him a near-death experience. Dispo right now is so damaged that one more blow from Gohan would claim his life. And Gohan now is preparing an energy blast to hit Dispo with. And as the energy ball is about to hit Dispo, suddenly someone appears right in front of Dispo. And this someone saves the life of Dispo by blocking the energy blast that Gohan hit Dispo with. And guys, this someone is none other than Jiren. And now guys, part 3 begins. And right now Gohan and Jiren are face to face. And all of a sudden Jiren looks down at his hands, and what Jiren is seeing is damage from Gohan's energy blast, and also he feels a little bit of pain as well. See, Gohan's energy blast wasn't that massive, but it was heavily intense. And right now Master Roshi says, "Wow, did you all feel that? It's like Gohan compressed 5 Kamehamehas into one." And the last time I felt anything like that was when Gohan was going up against Cell. And now Jiren slowly starts walking towards Gohan, and as they're face to face, about 1 feet away, Jiren and Gohan clash hands at light speed, and it creates a massive blast, a massive shockwave. And so with that, both Gohan and Jiren were pushed back by each other, but Gohan was pushed back a little bit more than Jiren. Jiren's power just had a little bit more effect than Gohan's. Everyone can see that. And right now, as Jiren and Gohan are clashing against each other, their punches are landing very heavily on each other. And with every blow, the Tournament Power Arena is cracking slowly and slowly. They're both fighting at ridiculous speeds that even Goku and Vegeta are having a hard time keeping up with. But Jiren overall seems a little bit more sharper and a little bit more faster and with more power than Gohan. And both Goku and Vegeta immediately notice that something is wrong. Something is wrong with Gohan. So now as Gohan and Jiren are still fighting, everybody can see that Gohan's aura around his body is slowly fading away little by little. And Gohan's aura keeps on shutting down and coming back on. And all of a sudden, Beerus looks at Whis, and Whis says, "Yes, my lord. Gohan is fading." Little by little, Jiren is getting the upper hand on Gohan. There is power, speed, and intensity coming from Jiren. And Gohan is being damaged with every blow that Jiren lands on him. Where Gohan is only landing about 50 punches on Jiren with not that much power behind them, but Jiren is landing hundreds of more punches on Gohan with absolute power behind them. And in Universe 11 Guided Destruction, Belmont looks at Universe 17 with a smile. He says, "It's over. Finish him, Jiren." And now Jiren absolutely dominates Gohan, and everything that Gohan is throwing at Jiren, nothing is landing right now. And now Jiren is just too fast and too powerful for Gohan, and Gohan is being heavily damaged by Jiren. With every blow, blood is coming out of Gohan's mouth, and Gohan's aura is blinking more and more. And all of a sudden, Gohan's aura around his body completely shuts down, and now Gohan just falls on the ground, and it was looking like a lifeless body was falling down. And as Jiren is only feet away, standing away from Gohan's body, Jiren prepares a massive energy blast. But he does not aim the energy blast at Gohan, he aims it at the ground, because Jiren now has respect for Gohan, and he knows that they're both fighting for the exact same reason, that is to protect their universe. And now as Jiren is only seconds away from launching the energy blast at Gohan, Vegeta says Kakarot, and Vegeta transforms into a Super Saiyan Blue, and then he charges directly at Jiren. And so with that, Jiren stops launching the energy blast at Gohan, and he takes on Vegeta. And as Vegeta is taking on Jiren, Goku goes to help out Gohan. And then guys, the Grand Priest notices something very strange, but he doesn't say anything just yet. And as Goku's right next to Gohan, he says, "Son, you did so well. I'm so proud of you. But from here on, we'll handle this. It's time for you to go." And then guys, Goku picks up Gohan to drop him out of the Terminal Power Ring. And as Goku is carrying Gohan and taking him to the edge of the Terminal Power Ring, Goku suddenly stops walking. And he looks at Gohan, because he cannot feel the life energy of Gohan. And suddenly the Grand Priest says, "He's gone." And then guys, Whis says this power that Gohan unleashed was just too much for him. His body couldn't handle it, and at the end, it gave out on him. Gohan is gone. And as Goku has tears in his eyes, he puts down Gohan's body on the ground, and he's just crying. And the battle is still happening between Vegeta and Jiren, and all of a sudden Android 17 joins as well to help out Vegeta. But Jiren is just too much for Vegeta and Android 17. And then guys, Jiren launches a barrage of energy blast at the direction of Android 17 and Vegeta. But Android 17 quickly creates a massive energy shield to save himself and Vegeta. And Jiren gets very annoyed every time, because his attacks cannot go through. And then guys, Jiren prepares a massive energy blast to hit Android 17's energy shield. And right as Jiren's energy blast hits Android 17's shield, it completely cracks it. And not only that, there's a massive explosion, and it creates a lot of smoke and dust as well. And not only that, it shakes the entire Terminal Power Arena. And as the dust and the smoke clears up, we can see Vegeta and Android 17, and they're heavily damaged. And now Jiren is walking towards them to knock him out of the Terminal Power Arena. And then guys, suddenly he stops and he looks back, and then his eyes goes to all directions, but he cannot see anything, but he knows that something is there. And then guys, the entire Terminal Power Arena starts shaking violently. And guys, after that, there's a huge beam of light, and as soon as the light comes up, the Terminal Power Arena splits into two. And as Jiren is still looking around, all of a sudden he gets punched in the stomach so hard that he spits out blood. He is in absolute pain. And as the bright light is slowly clearing up, everyone can see that there is somebody right in front of Jiren, and that is Gohan. And as Beerus is looking at Gohan, he says, "Wait, but Whis, he doesn't have a life signal. Gohan's dead." And now guys, part 4 begins. So after Beerus says that Gohan is dead, he's no more, Whis replies back, "Yes, my lord. Gohan indeed is gone. Gohan is dead. He's dead in the timeline. He's dead in a dimension." And then guys, Beerus turns around with a shock on his face, and he says, "Wait, what do you mean he's dead in the timeline? How is that possible?" And then guys, Whis says, "You'll see." And after that, Whis looks directly at Gohan and he says, "Now watch, Lord Beerus." And now back in the Terminal Power Arena, as Jiren is in pain, Gohan is just standing still. And as he's looking at Jiren, suddenly he closes his eyes and he takes a deep breath. And all of a sudden, nobody, not even Beerus and Whis, can feel any energy coming out of Gohan. It is dead silent. There's absolutely nothing. And as that is happening, all of a sudden the Grand Priest creates a protective shield around the Omni King. And now Whis and the other angels also do the same thing as well, and they create a protective shield around the seating arena. And Beerus says, "Whis, what are you doing?" And Whis stays silent. And all of a sudden Gohan opens his eyes and he takes a step towards Jiren. And with that, there's a massive shockwave. And each step that Gohan is taking, the power of the shockwave is getting more intense and intense. And it is slowly cracking the protective shield that Whis has created for everyone. And as Beerus is looking at Whis, you can see that Whis has a concern on his face. And then Whis makes the protective shield even more stronger to prevent it from breaking even further. And as Gohan is still walking towards Jiren, every single step that Gohan is taking, just like before, right now different auras are coming out of Gohan's body. Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, the mystic form, and then there's also even a strange green aura as well. And lastly, he also has the aura of Ultra Instinct. And right now as Gohan is right in front of Jiren, and Jiren is still on his knees on the ground, and Gohan says, "Get up." And then after a few seconds, Jiren gets up, and then he quickly creates a massive energy ball, and then Goku and Vegeta yell out, "Move, Gohan." And right after they say that, Jiren hits Gohan directly with an energy blast. And there was only a few inches of separation between Gohan and Jiren, and the energy blast was a direct hit on Gohan. And as everyone is in shock, the energy blast suddenly just disappears, and Gohan is still standing right there. And now out of absolute nowhere, Gohan releases back all the energy from Jiren's energy blast, and he also releases some of his own energy as well. And now all of a sudden, Gohan just disappears from the Tournament of Power arena, but everyone can still see some flashes of light throughout the entire Tournament of Power ring. And then Beerus looks at Whis and he says, "What is this? Whis, what is happening? How is this possible? How is Gohan doing this?" And the reason why Beerus is so shocked right now, that is because these flashes of light only appears when a God instruction and an angel, or even a mortal being that is granted the abilities of gods and angels, is traveling through time and entering multiple dimensions. And as there is still flashes of light in the Tournament of Power arena, the only ones that can see what Gohan is going through is the angels, and Whis is seeing everything that is going on. The Grand Priest, Whis, and the other angels are the only beings that are able to see Gohan inside those flashes of light. And Whis is saying that right now Gohan is seeing everything. And that means that right now Gohan is traveling through time and also entering and exiting out of multiple timelines. And not just that, he's also seeing alternate realities as well. And right now Gohan is seeing the younger version of himself taking on Reddit. And after that, he sees himself going up against Frieza. And after that, he sees himself releasing his power up against Cell. And then you can see the future version of himself going up against the androids in Future Trunks' timeline. But in this reality, everything is different. In this reality, Gohan finishes the androids. And after that, Gohan enters a timeline where he's going up against Majin Buu. But in this timeline, once again, things are much different. And he finishes Majin Buu very easily. And after that, he can see multiple timelines and multiple realities at the same time. He sees himself up against Lord Beerus, Golden Frieza, Goku Black, Zamasu, and he even sees himself up against Jiren in one of the timelines and realities. And at last, he also sees himself in a very bright dimension with 4 other beings. At first, he sees a Saiyan, and after that, he sees the Grand Priest, and next to him is another Saiyan as well. But this Saiyan looks just like Goku. But one difference is that this Saiyan has a scar on his face. And then Gohan sees himself right next to another person, and right in front of them is the Omni King. And as Whis is seeing everything, he's shocked out of his mind. He cannot believe how this is possible. And guys, all of a sudden, Gohan just snaps back into the Tournament of Power arena. And with that, there was a huge flash of light. And everyone can see that right now Gohan is on his knees. But out of nowhere, Gohan just stands up. And just like before, Gohan once again closes his eyes. And then after a few seconds, he opens it back up, and there's a huge outburst of aura and just massive shockwaves of pure divine godly energy mixed with angel's energy as well. And as everyone is looking at Gohan, Whis looks at Piccolo and he says, "Piccolo, when you were with Gohan in the hyperbolic time chamber, you saw that all these strange auras appeared, and also all this strange energy as well. Am I correct?" And then Piccolo says, "Yes." And then Whis looks at Master Roshi and he says, "Master Roshi, you said that the last time that you ever felt anything like that inside Gohan was when he was going up against Cell. Am I correct?" And Master Roshi replies back, "Yes, that's correct." And then Whis asks Krillin and Tien where Gohan was before he fought Cell, where Gohan was training. And Krillin says, "Inside the hyperbolic time chamber with Goku." And then once again, Whis looks at Gohan and he says, "My suspicion was correct. And right now, we're in the world of Void." And then Beerus says, "What does the world of Void have to do with Gohan?" Then Whis replies back, "Lord Beerus, as you know, the world of Void is a world without time or space, filled with infinite nothingness. And only angels such as myself and also select few beings are able to travel through it and see different realities and timelines, and also break out of it as well. And then Piccolo says, what do you mean select few besides the angels? And then Whis replies back, select few beings are the ones who are granted the abilities of us angels. And then Krillin says, so who's the one that grants these powers and these abilities? And Whis replies back, the only person that could order these abilities is the Omni King. And these abilities are given to a person and granted to a person by the Grand Priest. And after that, Lord Beerus says, Whis, what are you talking about? Nothing even happened here, no abilities were given to Gohan. And then Whis replies back, yes, Lord Beerus, you're correct. Nothing happened here. But something did happen in another reality, in another timeline. A version of Gohan from another timeline was given these abilities for some reason. And to my knowledge, something horrible must have happened to that version of Gohan. And then Lord Beerus says, so how is our Gohan connected to that version of Gohan in another timeline? And guys, Whis says, because our Gohan is now the most dominant and the most powerful Gohan that there is in all timelines, in all realities. And as you all know, before young Gohan went up against Cell, he was in the hyperbolic time chamber with Goku. And right now, before the tournament of power, he went inside the hyperbolic time chamber with Piccolo. And the hyperbolic time chamber is a sealed away dimension from the outside world, from the actual reality. And the hyperbolic time chamber is connected to the world of void that we're in right now. And once again, the world of void is a world without time or space, filled with infinite nothingness. And as Master Roshi said before, the last time that he felt his power from Gohan was when he was going up against Cell. But before young Gohan fought Cell, he was in the hyperbolic time chamber. And the hyperbolic time chamber is connected to the world of void. And because a version of Gohan from another timeline was given these divine abilities, that resulted in all versions of Gohan being connected to one another, in every timeline, in every reality. So even back then, young Gohan, before fighting Cell in the hyperbolic time chamber, for a few seconds he was able to experience the divine power from a version of himself from another timeline who was given the divine godly power and abilities. But back then, young Gohan was not able to hold on to that power for even a minute. And right now in the tournament of power, Gohan's access to divine ability from another version of himself is much more stable than before. But still, for some reason, Gohan is having a really hard time fully accessing it and fully holding on to it. Our Gohan right now is experiencing the pain and the happiness from all Gohans throughout every timeline, every reality. And now all of a sudden Gohan looks down and he says, you couldn't protect them. You took everything away from me. And then Lord Beerus says, Whis, why did Gohan just say that? What does that mean? And then Whis replies back, if this doesn't end soon, things are about to get a lot worse. He's seeing and experiencing all versions of himself from the past, the present, the future, and it's affecting his mental being. Right now our Gohan is confused. He does not know who he is, which version of himself is the real one. Anyways, you guys, that is about it. That's all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. And this is not the end of the story. I have a part 5 for you guys, so if you guys want to see that, give this video a huge thumbs up. That's how I'll know if you guys want it or not. And if you guys are brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for more videos like this. Anyways, guys, once again, thank you guys all so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and have a blessed day, my friends.